What's going on, everyone?
TCT is dropping the alpha.
Yeah, big big conference down in Miami. 8 hours doing big things.
Yeah, where do we vote on this?
I feel like it should be changed from ADAO to Big DAO. How do I submit that proposal?
Yeah, where do we vote on this?
The Big DAO.
BIGG DAO. Big DAO.
Yeah, we can call it Big D. Big D for short.
Yep. Join the Big D.
The notorious ADAO.
Why Miami, TCT?
You don't know? Hold on, TCT. Hold on 1 second. You don't know what's going on in Miami?
I do not know.
So
it's Bitcoin week?
Blackjack doesn't know anything if it doesn't say freeloaders in it.
Nah, it's got to have a Cardano in front of it. If it doesn't say Cardano in front of it, I guess I am a bit of Cardano maxi, man. I refuse to leave the beautiful island that is Cardano.
I heard something about harvesting bitcoins. I don't really know.
I like to harvest Bitcoin.
You can harvest Bitcoin in Cardano now?
Yeah, that's next. We're working on that right now.
I don't know, but if that becomes a thing, I'm gonna do it. I mean, I can wrap BTC and I can farm with it on, Milky or usually on Mohameda, but I can't farm BTC. I would like to though.
Won't Minotaur do that? I mean, come on, Lido. Let's get that together.
If IOG remains IOG, or I should say if Cardano remains Cardano, Minotaur will come when my grandchildren are my age. So I'm not waiting for it.
It's going to be a minute then. Okay, I got it.
We'll see, man. People are starting to realize that, we can go ahead and do a lot of this stuff. There's a bunch of people in the ADAO server the other day talking about setting up a conclave. So that would be something I'm sure a few people in this room would like. Yeah, I was pretty happy to see it.
I'm down with that.
Yeah, I think we have a lot more power than we think sometimes. That's what these papers are for, and then it's really just kind of getting the people together to actually start trying some of this stuff.
Yeah, if you don't set any goals, you'll never reach them.
But yeah, Blockjock, so it is the Bitcoin conference. I'm not too interested in it either, but there's a bunch of Cardano events, particularly one tonight. It's called Cardano Solution. That's pretty popular. That I'm excited to go to because, everybody I've talked to, a lot of people I really respect are supposed to be there.
You just be careful driving because I hear shit vibrating in your car.
Yeah, me too, man. Yeah, I heard that's going to be really cool though, and I look forward to a report as to how it went.
Yeah, you hear that? I gotta pull over and fix that. That's a fly rod tip vibrating.
Yeah, that would annoy the shit out of me, dude. Like, fix that fly rod, move it, do something with it.
For a second, I thought the car was shaking because you were going too damn fast or something.
He's excited to get there, Lido.
I feel like that's the only time you're going to hear that. It's a fly rod making a noise, man. Usually it's like an engine noise, something rattling inside the car, but now with TCT, it's a fly rod.
He's my kind of peoples, Blockjock, my kind of peoples.
Yeah, I grew up fishing, man. My dad loved the ocean. He was on it he was 23 years in the Navy. So, that's our time. When we spent time together with my dad, all the times I have to remember on the ocean.
Yeah. I've never ocean fished, but I'm a huge bass fisherman. So, me and my dad fish tournaments together locally around where I live. So,
dude, that's awesome.
Yeah. Lido, were you at the SPO call yesterday?
No, freaking! I'm so upset. The time changed to when I had in my calendar, the time zone. And those calls are not
Oh, that's
recorded.
right. You had deployment yesterday.
I did actually finished it, but then by the time I hop on, it was late. So I realized that the it started at 11 a.m., right? Not noon for you, Hero.
I think it started at 11.
Right. Yeah. So I was thinking it was at noon, and at 11 we were still doing a show too.
Yeah. So I guess from my understanding, they talked about the same shit, but you know, same shit.
They said they had new thinking on the whole parameter business. What was new?
I don't know. I wasn't there because obviously the show. So I don't even know why I asked you. I was kind of maybe hoping somebody that was in the room was there,
Dude, I
but
was so upset. I showed up and the room had like 7 people in it. I was like, wait, what's going on? And started reading the thread about the time zone change. Epoch, were you there? Is Ran in the room? I don't see him.
Epoch
Epoch
was
is
busy tweeting.
he's
So
tweeting, so let's keep talking shit about him.
yeah, keep talking shit while he's tweeting, and while he's tweeting, the rest of you should tweet out the show too. We have a guest, Ryan from Bet All In, is our guest today. So you know, gambling and betting on sports is a big industry. So I'm kind of interested to hear what he has going on the Cardano blockchain. I don't advocate gambling, and if you have a gambling problem, you should call Gamblers Anonymous.
That's right.
Or, we can play online poker for Bitcoin. That's fine.
Oh shit, Epoch is back. Quiet
Let's
everyone.
just use Hosky tokens, other tokens that we currently can't use, and we'll turn them into poker chips.
Yo, that's actually not even a bad idea. You could have like a set of shit coins, and then you could, oh dear, children, give me 5.
I love the idea of it, though,
Yes.
man. You could have some ballers in there. You know what I mean? I raise you by 1 billion Hosky.
So if you raise me by 0 and 0 times 0 is 0, I guess you just called or
So
folded.
I
I just
saw
like the
Hashki
visual. That's
move
all.
up. I saw Hashki move up 30% recently. What's the zero talk?
That whatever you're watching, it says it went up 30% is lying to you.
Yeah, but 30% of 0.00000 or whatever is not a big move.
So even if Hosky went up 10,000%, it's still 0. 10,000 times 0 is 0.
It's true.
So I didn't know you could fake a login of your Twitter account. I guess do you suspend it or because Hashki pulled a really sweet April Fool.
Yeah, all you do is go in and suspend your account and then unsuspend it.
But wouldn't it tell you it's suspended instead of just completely logging? I thought it would say like this account is suspended or something. But it didn't even say that. It was like he couldn't find the account.
I think that's if like Twitter actually suspended you, it would say that. But again, I'm not.
Hey, Lido, did you get that message surrounding the test net? There was a couple things in the reward distribution channel.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the freeloader planning session.
Yeah,
I call this meeting to order. Blackjack, go ahead.
No. Just curious if you got that. And there's 2 different, IDs for the testnet version of your SPO. So
yeah, the one that has more blocks. I will respond.
Okay, thanks,
to that
man.
message. But honestly, though, Epoch and Nick used to plan that shit on the show, and now they're not here. So I feel like we need to fill that gap. So yeah, I am a fan of this.
I feel targeted.
I think you should.
Before we go to Kareem there, you should feel targeted, especially since you missed the part when I call you an Italian pretending to be a Spanish man.
Oh my god, I am sad I missed that. That sounds wonderful.
It does.
Karim, what's up, sir?
Kareem? Paging Kareem.
Karim! I cannot roll my R. I guess we shall move on.
Bro, that's Porkstein.
Churros.
Cardano Over Coffee.
No, it's I can't even do it now. Damn it.
Hey,
Got him.
hey, Epoch. Guess what?
You made a multisig wallet that you want me to use right now.
Yep.
It's amazing. We're all
Go
knights
ahead.
that say neat.
Go ahead, test it out. Send some funds to that ADAL Foundation multisig. We'll send it back. We promise.
Mm-hmm. I've heard that. I've heard that before.
Did
Hey,
you have
we
a proper
tested it
handle
out.
yet, TC?
We tested it out yesterday. It worked great.
Send you back double.
Ooh, see
Oh,
now you
wait.
got me.
What? You need to give me that address then too. I got some new. I got some testnet token called Teuton or Teton. I can't even figure out how to spell it from George from Apex Pool that we're using for our testnet. So, yeah.
Here's the coolest thing. You can do it on testnet to try it out, but you can send anything to it, and the ADAO Treasury handle is in it, so you can even send directly to that. Although you're gonna get a freaked out warning from your wallet though, telling
Why
you
would
that
you accept everything?
you're probably making a mistake.
Why wouldn't you only accept ADA?
We only accept ADA.
Wait. You don't have control over what you accept. You accept what you're given.
Whoa. There's always a choice, Lito. It just may happen at a different layer.
So what's the ADAO handle, PCT?
ADAO Treasury. But I actually posted it right above too, just so you can double check it.
Fantastic. ADAO Treasury. Awesome.
Could you spell treasury for me? I'm kidding.
TR.
You got to put a Z in there for treasury for sure.
It's like treasure, but
No. It's like hamburgers.
I like how there's just like a constant 10 to 15% purposeful misinformation that we all throw out there just to subtly make it harder to understand what's going on.
I forget that there's other people in the room. Sometimes I don't even know.
I believe what you meant to say is humor.
I mean, that's what I call it.
Thank you very much.
But humor requires perspective and knowledge on the inside jokes, right? So we got to bring the team along.
Have you heard?
Speaking of poker chips, we have All In the room right now as a speaker. So apparently we're barking up the rate.
Sorry, Block. It was just time of the day, Finish what you were saying, and then Kareem, you can say what you wanted to say after Block finishes up.
Not that I promote gambling because I'm not much of a gambler, but there could be a cool thing for a useful way to use tokens that are currently not valuable. Who knows, though? It could be valuable at one time or another, like SafeMoon.
Hi, guys. I'm Mark from All In.
Oh, hey, Mark.
How are you? I'm just waiting for Ryan, actually, my colleague who should be on.
I'm right here. We're just waiting for Sean.
Ah, cool.
He's on the West Coast, so it's early.
Yeah, we still got 15 minutes for you, so we're just gonna hang out and bullshit for a little bit more.
Yeah, it's
all right. No worries.
Blockjock is just always trying to, I don't know.
He's trying to get ahead.
I'm a goat.
That's all right.
Is what I am.
We've no. We've an answer for your responsible gambling problem.
Carry on.
Well, we're trying to address it, but it's a great point.
Have you figured out how to address gambling addiction across a more inclusive set of people? Like, how do mermaids fit into gambling addiction?
Marmotta's down there. She might be able to tell us. I don't know. Hi, Marmotta. Miss you.
Right? I think she can. Perfect.
Do we know if Mamerta is going to get a tank at the Red Bloom event?
I don't know if it was approved. It was a lot of water. I think they need more insurance.
What if we just go with a kiddie pool? I mean, if you go with a kiddie pool, you know, those blow up ones, that should be fine.
No, then her hair won't be like floating and shit, you know?
Right.
Okay, we can get a deep kiddie pool.
Do you want this poor mermaid that drowned? What the is wrong with you?
No, absolutely not. But I want to see some mermaid mud wrestling. That would be amazing.
Blockchuck, where is your brain today?
What's wrong with you
what did you go to sleep watching?
It could go anywhere at any time. And I did have a cookie before bed, so the dreams were pretty crazy.
Whoa, Karim is back.
Kareem is here. Let's see what he has to say.
I'm always here. I just try to get with the flow, you know, without stepping on anybody's tippy toes. And all in. I'm getting all in onto Cardano, but I'm still figuring out some logistics about that. And by going all in is I'm gonna make my own project on Cardano. And the amazing thing is that Cardano is very intensive on the community. So I've got the community people who are supporting. We've made a small list together, and we've got some interesting things cooking. So yeah, just wanted to come here and say that I really appreciate what Hero Pool and Light Donation are doing. Shout out to TC and Epoch. And I see Patrick's unsigned Epoch log, so that's also amazing and definitely Jory there. Shout out to Pool and the Huskies. And that's my.
I have a question for you, Karim.
Go ahead.
So you said Cardano. What is that? Is that an ERC20 token?
You mean ERC20 token as an Ethereum token?
Yeah, what's Cardano?
Oh, so I know about blockchain since 2012. So the beginning of blockchain was before that a little bit by Mr. Satoshi. Then I found out about Ethereum about 5 years ago, a little bit more or less. And now I open up and I find these blockchains all over the place. So I'm like, well, which cryptocurrency should I get into? And then found out about tokenomics, and then I found out about a lot of information and a lot of misinformation, and information and the misinformation and the other way around. So it's as a physicist, I see all this data and I don't understand shit. So I don't take decisions about that until I try to have my little scratches of understanding of what's going on there. So yeah, I found the cool people in Cardano, had some fun getting stoned.
I just want to say I still don't know what Cardano is.
If you don't know what Cardano is, I don't know what you're doing here. Like that question confused the fuck out of me. Like
that confused me too. I was like, how do I answer that? It's oh no, I got it. The Charles Hoskinson answer.
That's right.
Cardano is a third-generation cryptocurrency blockchain solution that will bank 1 billion people in Africa by 2025. Thank you.
Bankless.
That was great.
But Kareem, if you're looking for a stake pool run by a physicist, look no further than Epoch. We can talk quantum anytime. Quantum computers, all sorts of fun, weird physics shit. So just shout out if you want.
Epoch has it. This is the thought I'm spreading. Epoch has a super quantum computer in his garage.
He thinks just because he worked for NASA, he's something special. I'll tell you.
I think it's in
Wait
his
a
nerve
second.
center. That's why he doesn't get a good
Nobody
signal.
has a quantum computer in his garage. Who here has a quantum
Epoch,
computer?
Epoch,
I'm gonna go
does.
to your garage right now.
No, the garage is too hot. It's the basement, folks. The basement where it's colder.
No.
Yeah, that's why he gets a horrible signal
It's
down
just
there.
one little
He can compute.
qubit in a little box. It's totally volatile.
Cool.
I can't wait to come over and play with it.
No, I have this is a running joke. So similarly I was looking at blockchain, in the 2012 area, reading the white paper, but then I got obsessed with like infrastructure and like Dogecoin and Litecoin and running things and building rigs. So I started just running a whole bunch of things, and then now I just have a server room filled with a bunch of things that are off because I don't believe in them anymore. But I don't know. There's a giant heap of shit, and sure.
I was gonna say, Epoch. Do you have any of the like 3080s in one of those rigs? I would like to buy one.
I've already sold all 3 of my 3080s. I only had 3 of them, so. But I can tell you, for anyone who's building rigs, you really want those like flexible PCI cords that come from China, not the shitty American ones that are like tiny and short. You need that airflow, baby.
Oh man, I don't even know where to go from there.
Well, but there are a lot of
baby.
airflow, yeah, and there's a lot of like congestions when it comes to or problems in the supply chain when it comes to electronic things. And yeah, this is something one could touch on because also Cardano is quite carbon neutral and hopefully carbon negative. That's something I fuck with, as you Americans say. Yeah, I'll fuck with that.
Yo, that was perfect. I was like, damn, he gets it.
He turned
Perfect
American
segue.
all of a sudden. What the
Yeah.
fuck happened?
Yeah, you put the S though. It's got to be I fucks with it. You can't fuck it. That's like a separate type of thing. You got to
Totally
fuck.
Well,
different,
y'all
yes.
say whatever you want.
Okay, y'all making me put my headphones on.
Oh, uh-oh. It's about to get serious up in this joint. So, anything happen interesting in Cardano yesterday that I missed? I'm sure something.
Something interesting happened in Catalyst on Wednesday, so I still don't know how to feel about it.
What happened?
So Catalyst was like, okay, we're gonna drive some alpha in Fund 9. We're gonna switch out the way the treasury is managed and stuff like that, and we're gonna, instead of having the funds be denominated in USD, I thought he was about to say it's gonna be denominated in JED, but then he said it's going to be denominated in ADA, but only kind of sorta. So even me, I'm still confused because he was like, it's going to be denominated in ADA, so we're going to start encouraging teams to start thinking about their budget in ADA, and then it will be 60 million ADA or 60 million USD, whichever one comes first. And I'm just like, what? What does that even mean? Like, why are we going between ADA
Why
and
do they
USD?
continue to just complicate? It's like, that shit is complicated enough, and why are you just making it more convoluted? You should be simplifying it, tying it to a stable coin such as JED that you're going to have on your platform.
Right, it's like we don't have JED yet, and if we're gonna do ADA, let's just do ADA. I don't get the whole ADA, but if ADA is $3, then it wouldn't be ADA. It would be capped at 60 million USD. But if ADA is 50 cents, then it would be ADA. And it's like,
well, hold on. I think, unless I'm misunderstanding something, it's not like there's one JED. Like we did the opposite of like centralizing things into one token that the foundation runs. Instead, they made like, the design of JED and put it out there in a paper. And like now, various folks I assume will implement a version of JED probably on their own decks or on their own liquidity pools, or so there should be like a little army of JEDs. And I don't know which one's going to win or if that strengthens us or weakens us. in comparison versus other chains, but I do think it's pretty unique how we're trying to roll out that type of stablecoin on this network.
Right. Go
You
ahead,
want to hear my prediction?
Yes, very much so. I was thinking about this last night, actually.
Okay. By the end of 2022, we will be denominating our currencies in Aether token, decentralized reserve currency on Cardano. That's my prediction.
But isn't JED can't JED be a reserve currency that's decentralized?
Yes, 100%. I don't think we're going to see that from Cody, but yes, I think you're right. You said it exactly right. We're going to see others implement DJED, more than one, right? More than one entity or implementation.
So the question that I have is like, how are those going to interact with each other? Like, who is going to build the JED swap? I guess they're all the same price. Like, I don't actually understand
Yeah, I'm
what this
interested
runs
to
at
see.
scale.
Right, I'm interested to see how we start naming them because that's going to get interesting. But I mean, the one with the most secure treasury, right? So the one where the reserve is decentralized, um, and we know who controls it, right? And we can very easily audit the reserves, I think, will be the winner.
I think whoever has the best marketing will win.
That would suck, but you might be
Yeah.
right.
Look at Microsoft.
I mean, I don't want that to happen. I want what TCT is saying to happen, the most decentralized, but I don't have faith in the overall ecosystem as a whole to look at that, right? There's too many people that are in it just to make money and they don't give a flying rat's ass about decentralization.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I think marketing has a huge factor here on early projects, but I think what's going to dictate success here is actually just pure volume. Like, show me what the fuck is transacting, and like, if you look at MinSwap and you look at what portion of TVL that they have, it's over 50%. So like, I'm there. And as we see other things, like I want to see what share of market transactions that they have and in what kind of order of magnitude is the volume. I think that's all that really matters.
Yeah. I hope it ends up being the most decentralized one because that's what it needs to be.
So just before we kind of move on to our guests here, if y'all can check out that tweet that I have pinned to the top and like watch the YouTube clip, it starts at about 35 minutes, and then bombard your Catalyst Circle member, whoever they are, with your thoughts. I would greatly appreciate that.
Lido, if I don't know who my Catalyst Circle representative is, where do I find that information?
Check out the thread in that tweet.
Call the 1-800 number.
There is an article that talks about what the Catalyst Circle is, and there's a link that goes to the Gitbook.
Awesome. Thank you. I should have known better. I should have just known that it was there. So moving on, as it's 10 o'clock, and we need to get to our first guest who's here. Ryan, is your other partner here yet, or all
Yep.
in?
Yep, Sean, if you want to just request speaker.
Oh, I see him there. Light him up. So if you just kind of want to start out and just tell us a little bit about who you guys are, what you're doing, why Cardano, and go Stillers.
Quick shout out to the Blue Jays opening day. We got a good team, so go Blue Jays. Yeah, so I'm just going to start with an introduction of myself. My name's Ryan Sweeney, lead marketing and community relations with All In. Basically, how I got into Cardano was through gambling Twitter, which is a little quick story. Back in 2017, I saw Bitcoin going to the moon. Didn't really know what it was, but I followed people on gambling Twitter. And in the States at that time, you couldn't gamble in certain states, so people would use Bitcoin to gamble. And I sat on the sidelines watching everything going to the moon, and I started learning about Bitcoin. Like, what is this? Why is it going so high? Everything like that. And eventually it hit 20 grand. And then I was like, all right, this is getting serious. Like, I got to figure out what this is. So that's where I got into crypto Twitter. And from there, I heard about Cardano and, watched the white paper, everything like that, and kind of just went down the rabbit hole. So that's basically how I got into Cardano, kind of my involvement with doing marketing, stuff like that. And I'll pass it over to Sean and he can introduce himself.
Hey, yeah, I got into crypto in working in fintech and doing some Bitcoin stuff in 2013, 2014, and then found Cardano in 2017 and realized that the vision there was what resonated for me. And so I operate Squid Pool and have written a few improvement proposals and found Ryan found me and I thought this is a great opportunity to take an industry that has so many problems because it's centralized and decentralize it and disrupt it. And that's me. And I'm in California, so it's early for me. So forgive me if I haven't had enough coffee yet.
What coffee do you drink? Do you use cream or do you use sugar?
No, it's black on black for me.
Good answer. Good answer. A little cream here and there is okay, I guess, for some people, but I don't know. It just doesn't float my boat.
Oat milk.
And I think is Mark on here too under the
Yeah.
all-in?
I am. Can you hear me, guys?
You're good, Mark.
Cool, thanks. Yeah, I believe it or not, first heard about crypto and Bitcoin. I think it must have been about 2014 or 2013 even. I was building an online exchange, on an odds exchange. So basically, very similar to Betfair, a betting exchange where you don't actually hold any underlying risk. And a buddy of mine was kind of flitting around. We had a DevOps business, and a friend of mine was very interested and was pointing out that one day this thing was going to go to the moon. And I'm still kicking myself I didn't buy a single coin. He went on to work for IOHK, and we kept in touch over the years. And I bumped into the lads over the summer. I had seen, having built the online betting exchange, which was called Odds Futures, and
Wait,
created.
Just super quickly, is this friend of yours, Charles?
No, it's a guy called Al McSherry. Yeah, he's actually just left. I'm based in Dublin, and so they've got a bunch of guys here. Although he's left for Portugal because it's much cheaper and much sunnier. So anyway, I met the guys over the summer, saw they were doing something interesting, felt that there was really that the online betting industry lacks trust in many ways, and I thought I'd seen the guys' initial proposal, and we agreed to team up over the summer, and I've been working with them ever since July or something, or June last year.
Yeah, and I just want to point out, this is kind of like I know Ryan pretty well. Me and him talk pretty often. We've been talking for a while, and definitely a sports guy like me. So me and Ryan get along pretty well. You sound like you have a lot of experience, so I like that. And Sean is one of the biggest CIP contributors in Cardano. So thank you, Sean, for all the work that you do for Cardano. I appreciate that. For those of you that don't know, so I'm kind of enjoying this team so far. Can you tell me a little bit about what you're trying to build?
Yeah. Well, I suppose I might let Ryan talk a little bit
Yeah,
first.
I'll go into it.
He's the guy with the comms brief. So
Yeah. So yeah, basically we'll start with like the current problem, right? So the whole industry is basically there to exploit players, right? At the end of the day, they don't care about you. You know, you sign up for a profile on one of the accounts, and they already know within some time if you're going to be a money maker for them or not, right? And then more profiling goes on, and they're all centralized corporations, and just with what we're trying to do, we're trying to flip the whole industry on its head, and we're going to explain a few things how we can do that. So just to touch on like our solution, we have three pillars to success. So yeah, we obviously want to be a DAO one day, basically community focused, definitely putting people at the forefront, kind of the opposite of what the industry's built right now. People over profits. Obviously, businesses need to make a profit, but they don't need to exploit people and really pillage them, right? Like that's not good for anyone, right? So, also we want profit share. Like that's the future of a lot of this stuff, right? So you can be the house, right, by holding our token. That's a really big game changer. And then things like governance, like how you have a say in how we run this thing once we get it going. Have vote. You want to do this, something like that. And then data control. Basically, what I was talking about earlier is like as soon as you make a profile on some of these sites, they know within a few bets or maybe other information whether you're going to be a moneymaker or not, right? So we want to put that into the control of the consumer's hands, right? You are like you own your data, so you should either get money for that or you should at least have the option, right? And then, so our second pillar is ethical transparency. Obviously, everything's built on a blockchain. So, you can go and see all the transactions, make sure there's no funny business going on. And then, really, what we're trying to do is really understand addiction. That's obviously from like a psychology side of things, but also just how betting companies right now approach marketing, approach how they target people and really exploit people. On some of these sites, if or most of them, if you win too much, they'll kick you off. Like what? Like that? That's just not right. You know what I mean? But it just is what it is. There's so many problems in the industry, along with a lot of other industries. But yeah, that's something we really want to target. And then, yeah, the third pillar is basically all in one. So right now, a lot of problems is if I want to gamble fantasy, bet versus the book, do a pool, all these different things, I need to have like 4 or 5 different apps. So basically, what we want to do is bring that under one umbrella. And not our claim to fame, but we want to build everything around a bet versus chain model. This is where we think the blockchain can really take off. There are, one or two companies doing it right now, but we think we can do it in a better way and offer more offerings on top of it. But yeah, anything from pools, fantasy, all that, we kind of want to put it under one umbrella. And definitely going to take a while, but it's brick by brick and some very interesting things that we're trying to do.
So the first question that really comes to my mind is obviously gambling is a legal minefield, right? Different states in the United States have different laws, so I'm assuming that there's different laws all over the country, all over the world. How do you navigate that?
Well, yeah, so that is our biggest challenge is going to be the licensing and regulation. So obviously we're going to have to dive into different regions differently, obviously, just like you mentioned. So we might not focus on the states right away just because it's such a highly regulated area, right? So maybe we target areas that aren't so regulated, kind of build it up, but also partner with legal team that really knows and understands this stuff, and just create plans that go into certain regions. And again, every day more states are becoming more welcome to it. I'm from Toronto, and it just went legal that vendors can now offer their offerings in Ontario. And every day that goes by, there's going to be more countries, more states, more provinces that are getting on board with this because they see the value add and just the money that can come from it, right? And then you have the leagues as well that want to get involved. Now, I'm not saying that we can do anything with leagues, but at the end of the day, if it's a decentralized protocol, then maybe there's something leagues could get involved, but just kind of be on the back end of it and they have nothing to do with it. But yeah, just tons of opportunity with that. And I don't know if Sean or Mark want to touch on that as well.
Yeah. Yeah. One thing I would say is that we did do quite a bit of consultation with an attorney who worked for Poker Stars and other big names in the industry at the beginning of our project to understand a little bit about the legal landscape. And definitely in the long term, we'll have to spend the money to have the right approach in the different jurisdictions. But in the short term, there's as Ryan said, we can initially focus on areas like Europe and Canada where it's much easier, but also because it is decentralized, we're able to act essentially as a software provider because we're not that being the house and providing the bet. The bets are all against the chain or person to person with no middleman. And so there are some people in the industry currently who have opinion letters from attorneys that say that this is legal, that because we're a software company, we're not a gambling company. And that hasn't been tested in court yet. So we're following these developments and making sure that we're aware of the path that we'll need to go down, but essentially letting others spend all the money up front on the attorneys to figure those things out so that we can choose the right path.
Awesome. And
I think I might just add to that. Sorry, might just add to that what Ryan said. In the short term, it's I'll use a word or pick up a word there that Ryan had spoken, which is umbrella. So I mean, really, it's being that software platform and looking for partners who are making games. They could be games of skill, or games of chance, or either way, or a median of the two. But ultimately, those partners would be seeking effectively a treasury platform with which to underwrite the risk, and it's that sort of software-based solution approach that we're going to take, and hopefully we can tiptoe and navigate around the regulatory ecosystem to the point maybe where we mature as a provider, and we actually engage with an entity that is looking to do business in one of the states, and probably we pick somewhere like New Jersey to start with because it's less onerous, and there are a lot of sort of subdivisions of licenses.
Pennsylvania, man. You can gamble in PA online. Let's make it happen.
Well, yeah, well, you can, yeah, but you still need a license. So you might need a license for.
Yeah,
there's all these but they divide it into like 50 different subcategories almost, because and the regulatory structure is that way because years ago people were paid for calibrating one-armed bandits, and they kept that kind of infrastructure there, But so that's kind of it. But I in the interim or the short term, I would see us just allowing people to make bets on pretty much anything they want to, in terms of finding the right partner. And obviously the easiest choice would be to make small scale bets on crypto price movements and things like that, just to get our MVP 2.0 up and running.
Just real quick on that point as well. Back in 2011, maybe 2012, 13-ish, FanDuel and DraftKings, stuff like that, faced really heavy, licensing and regulatory issues in the States. But once they got through that, like they're some of the biggest entities in the whole industry, right? So once you get over those hurdles, it's kind of like smooth sailing.
Actually, that court case was just resolved, dropped last week by the New York District Attorney after, I think it's like, whatever, nearly eight or 9 years against DraftKings and FanDuel. But so, yeah, we just tiptoe our way around and solutionify what we're doing. And that's the kind of, and work with partners within the ecosystem that are providing games a chance and skill, and then build towards sports. It's only when you start to get, to talk to retail and get retail customers to sign up that these things present themselves as a problem. Although we don't intend to break any laws, and probably we won't take customers from the States until we have a pair of iron underpants in that respect.
Can you speak specifically, maybe a little bit, to the proposal that you guys have?
Yeah, probably Sean.
Yeah, I can talk about that. So the proposal we have in Fund 8 is to fund our completion of our MVP. We want to prove the bet versus chain model that using smart contracts on Cardano and providing the infrastructure to make those bets so that the community can be the house, can own a share, get a share of the profits, and we can at that point take that and apply that across more different game types and different areas of the industry. And then the next step after that would be the person-to-person betting. So if you want to bet your friend about whether the Blue Jays are going to win the World Series or not.
Me and Epoch are going to go broke, Sean. Me and Epoch are going to go broke is all I can tell you.
Yeah, but if you hold the token, then you'll at least get some of the profits back. Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, you're good. You're good. Yeah. So that's the proposal. Is we want to get to that first critical point where we can prove number one, that the technology works, and number two, that we can execute on that and get that out into the market and start to build momentum.
So I have a few questions if this is a good time.
Yeah.
Could you tell me a little bit about your kind of philosophy of how to grow your dev team and how many devs you have today and over what disciplines and roles?
Yeah, right now we're a global team. We've been looking for people in, the different areas that we're working on. So front end, we have 2 developers. One is in the Netherlands and the other one is in Indiana, US. And then on the back end, we have a developer in Brazil, and then we have 2 other developers who are sort of back end and smart contract who have done the Plutus Pioneers course. One's currently moving from India to Australia, and the other one's in Boston. And we've really looked around and tried to find people in the Cardano community who had a similar values and interests to ourselves, and are willing to work on this project at this early stage and really make a difference. We also have a project manager who's in Toronto as well, with Ryan. So, and then we have our DevOps guy is in Wales. So, we're global. We're finding all the right people. I think our next area we'll be looking at is the mobile app development. And just to keep all the areas covered, I think we have a great team and we'll be able to execute on this.
Are you planning on doing that mobile development in-house?
It depends on if we get the right person. If we have it, it would be nice to do in-house. But obviously, if it turns out to be more expedient to just hire that out, then maybe we'll do that.
Do you have designs for a mobile app?
We have some designs at this point. Mostly we've been focused though on the infrastructure side of things to this point. So we're definitely looking at bringing in someone who can help us on the design aspect and really refining our branding and the look and feel across the platform.
So
I think also, just to add to that, sorry to interrupt, the design element of the in terms of the addiction end of things, there will be quite a lot of work in the sort of design thinking led approach to developing interfaces and stuff like that. So never stop. And it is something we're looking at. It's going to be an evolutionary thing, I think, and we're looking at partners to bring in partners for that as well, with Singularity Net.
And so, do you guys have a headquarters then somewhere, or is the company itself decentralized?
It's a Wyoming-based corporation. We followed IO on that to be, for their crypto friendliness. And
I didn't mean the registration. I meant like people working together.
Oh, it's completely distributed. We're global. Everything is done asynchronously or through video conferencing. I would say hopefully we'll all get together at Ryan's house and have a big party soon.
I think at some point I'd like us to have an office for sure, and that's a resourcing issue. Our focus is just to get through the hoops on Catalyst and iterate, and even if it needs be, do things low and slow, not to raise a load of money and have people dictating, well, this is what you said in your plan, and et cetera, just to get it right and get it done at our own pace. I'm nervous about going the route of incurring unnecessary cost.
And does your engineering team practice agile development?
Yes, we're doing sprint-based development, and
we're in principle applying. I'm a Scrum Master as well, so we're certainly trying to apply those principles. It's an evolving practice, but
yeah.
I like all human-computer interaction. So,
yeah.
And the reason I'm asking these questions, they may seem seemingly random.
No, they're not. They're very focused. They're good.
and it's because I run a team myself, and one very important decision that I had when I joined was what's my strategy? Right. I have to hire people. I have to grow fast. Right. Do I go global? Do I go US? Do I go Europe? Do I not care? Just focus on talent. And I made a strategic choice to focus on the United States for software engineering, so that everyone's on the same time zone, so that I can schedule my Scrum meetings, so that I can have my retrospectives and basically build some advantage in the space. Right. So I am trying to figure out how you are going to solve this, frankly, very real problem of having people on different sides of the planet, and getting them on the same page is like, someone's going to not be happy with when they're awake or how they're working. So you've almost decided a harder path, and I'm trying to understand how are you all.
We've got a 4-hour sweet. Yeah, we've got a 4-hour sweet spot 5 days a week at the moment. That's the truth of it.
And it does depend on the flexibility of the people on the team. And luckily, our developer in India has been willing to get on meetings at 9:00 at night. And so it is a challenge in that respect. And the other thing that we do is we have meetings within the various teams. So we're not always having the whole team together at once. We try to do that to make sure everyone's on the same page overall, but then we set up meetings between the individual teams, which can often have a lot more flexibility in time zones.
Yeah, and I suppose we're also trying to involve the developers in the decision making around direction, product strategy, and direction.
That's tough, though,
you know,
because
it's
engineers
good.
don't.
It's fine when you're small. You know,
I'm not
it's
even
fine
sure
when
it's
you're
fine when
small.
you're small.
Yeah.
Engineers shouldn't set direction. No offense, but like engineers
No,
focus very hard on solving the technical problem at hand, and oftentimes the
no,
business context is lost, right? So
yeah.
like you need
Well, I
a
didn't say
probably like a principal level or a very senior
absolutely,
engineer.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't think we'd be allowing people set direction, but or give direction. But I think we've an open ear to knowledge that's embedded in the team for sure.
Yeah, because one of the things is that the people that we're working with are all often very involved in Cardano and crypto, and have different perspectives, and they can provide us feedback on the directions that we're setting,
Yeah.
and often bring up ideas that maybe we hadn't considered with the same perspective.
I love that y'all are thinking so closely of your devs, and the fact that the CTO is here says a lot to me. That's really why I wanted to jump in and ask a bunch of questions, because CTO life ain't easy. So if it sounds too rosy, I know there's something amiss.
Yeah.
Because building a company and scaling it tech-wise in today's world of bootstrapping is a massive, complex problem. And every CEO that I ever talked to is like, fuck it, bootstrap it. We'll be fine. And it's like, well, do you want
It's very
flexibility
hard.
later? Do you want me to like enhance
But
that shit when someone wants?
yeah,
Yeah, it's a challenge for sure.
I have to say it's the whole Catalyst platform is incredible. I find it just incredible as a utility. It's brilliant in that respect, and for the kind of bootstrapping that we're doing. We couldn't do
And I
without
think
it.
too, because we're in the Cardano community, we've found that the really excellent people who have a similar vision to ourselves, which, if we weren't in the Cardano community, if we were just building a tech company, it's a lot harder to get that shared kind of vision of where we want to go with this.
Couldn't be done.
Awesome. And if anybody else has any questions, we're going to wrap it up, be respectful of their time. But if anybody else has any questions, please raise your hand or request speaker, and you're more than welcome to come up. Ryan or Sean, whoever, it don't matter to me. How much are you asking for on Catalyst proposal? And where can I go to find out more about exactly what you're doing?
I can answer. The amount is 71,500, and we have a detailed budget on how that's allocated to it's primarily allocated to the developers to keep them engaged. We have a little bit on the legal side to kind of keep up on that. But you can see our proposal on Catalyst, on IdeaScale, and then our website is betallin.io. So BETALLIN.io.
I think the link is there. Is it? I'm not sure if I managed to share it correctly.
Up there, I've posted it a few times.
Oh, brilliant!
The third one.
I'll sort of post it to the YouTube channel. So
yeah, I also wanted to mention we were successful last one getting some money out of the Singularity Net Fund. So that also has opened a few doors to working with them. It's very beneficial for both parties. And, the bet versus chain obviously is going to be very AI based or technical based. So we're very excited about that partnership. Possibly not. Sorry, I shouldn't say partnership. That connection. And yeah, we just want to grow that.
Blockchalk, did you have questions?
I did. Kind of a statement and a question. So with these type of projects where gambling is the main focus, there is that part, and you guys already discussed it a little bit, having to do with addiction and gambling addiction. And it is a real thing. I mean, people, lose their homes and families and everything else surrounding, that particular issue. And so from psychology and things of that nature, there's quite a bit of resource now that is available to these projects that are doing this if they take it seriously. The last project that was on here, I mentioned it to him, and I actually have somebody that specializes. He has a PhD in addiction, in the treatment of addiction, and also PTSD, because he works out here in SoCal.
Cool.
But they never got back to me, or I got in touch with, just to even say, hey, what do you think about something as a off the cuff consultancy of some sort, right? Which
Yeah.
suggests to me that they're not fully serious about it. And really their main goal is just to pull in revenue and hopefully get a project going, right? So the same thing goes for you guys. The offer is there. I have somebody that if you want to reach out to me via DM, and I can give you their number. They're more than willing to discuss, and you guys could have a conversation if you don't have that already set and ready to go.
So
Awesome. So,
that'd be brilliant.
real quick,
We'd talk to
Sean,
anybody.
Hey, real quick, I'm sorry, we're halfway through the show. Blockjock has a tendency to ask infinite number of questions that could be in a DM. So feel free to connect as humans in a way that furthers your business. But this is halfway through the show, so I'd ask everyone to share the space. We're having a great conversation. I love to hear from our guests in kind of this deep format. So please shout out to our guests in some tweets, and let's get 50 some tweets going here to get the second half of the show going. I'm also going to say this is a great time to check your balances at your exchanges. If there is a balance of ADA, I don't know what you're doing. Get it off of there, move it to your private wallet, get a wallet that has keys that you own, and of course, delegate to a pool that will help you earn rewards and will also just be a portal into all kinds of innovation in the space. So if you have a wallet, feel free to delegate to Hero, Lido, or Epoch. This is, we don't really pay ourselves here to run this, and we've been running almost a year now, but we do it for the decentralization and building a protocol that's actually going to survive 10, 20, 30, 100 years. And that's not going to work if we're all leaving ADA in a stop-loss position as if we're terrified of the most innovative volatile industry on the planet. So that's Epoch's advice. Hope you have a great rest of your show. And I will go quiet now. Feel free to pick up where you left off, Sean, and thank you for your time.
Yeah, and I would just say thank you for providing this amazing platform. I mean, you guys have really created a space here for people in the community, and that's awesome. Really appreciate the work on that.
I appreciate people like you guys showing up to talk to us. When we first started this, Sean, it was me, Epoch, and like 5 people. So I appreciate everybody that comes and listens. Just one other shout out before I let you continue. We are sponsored today by the Ada Cafe. They support a lot of Twitter Spaces, right? And you can go to adacafe.io and find out about all the Twitter Spaces that they do support. And if you're a project, a lot of them do have guest slots that you can sign up for, just like this one, and go and we all have our different communities. So it's not always the same people listening. So if you have a chance, you have a project, go to adacafe.io, check it out. We have proposals out there for things to help support these Twitter Spaces that we've been doing for free for a long time. And it does take a lot of our time up throughout the week, so it's not just a 2-hour show. So we would ask that you support the Ada Cafe by supporting that Catalyst proposal. And also there are 2 Epoch clocks out there that support the Ada Cafe. One is the Founders Edition, and then the other one is a little cheaper, and it's not on chain, but it also helps support these Twitter Spaces. So if you enjoy it, we would appreciate you supporting the Ada Cafe. And again, I'm really enjoying this all in bet thing. So I need to do more research, right, to see if you guys are going to get my vote. Don't tell Ryan because he thinks he already has it.
Yeah, and I guess to get back to the question about the addiction and the psychology and about, I mean, it really is one of our core ideas in this project is to bring that ethical transparency, and to try to work with the experts in the community to find ways to address the problem gambling and addiction. And we would love to get in contact with anyone that has expertise in that area. We're currently exploring different options for partnerships and understanding about the current research there. So definitely let us. We are committed to that.
Yeah, and I think the power of the community treasury, the community governance, is that it can deliver intervention in a way that's not intrusion, and I think that's something that's a whole new paradigm for trust, that hasn't existed in betting or indeed in financial services at all, because these models are 1,000 years old. They've just been applied to the internet in the last 20 or so years, and then served on steroids via mobile push. So, and I actually I have to say, I have I played my own part in that. And I have a couple of patents on cash out betting, which I lodged and own US patents in 2007. And I've seen the transition of the industry from one of a binary bet on who's going to win the Masters to one that's a continuous engagement via cash out, via that product. And it's invidious and it's terrible, but it's also eating the industry itself. And in the States, you're going to start to see some ads soon about responsible gambling from some of the, from FanDuel. They're going to start pushing that as a sort of an agenda. But all it is observational. They really don't give a shit, and they want to be seen to be doing something about it. And it's a real problem in the UK, in the rest of the world, where the clickbait or the funnel effectively of nurture and conversion and engagement has proceeded to on the basis and had of the evolution of the internet, but then it's had AI applied to it as well. So as Ryan said, like within 2 or 3 bets, the operator can tell what X it's going to make out of you over the next year, and fairly quickly it'll know whether you are actually capable of losing the money, because they have your KYC, they have a social security number, they've got you modeled. They very easily tell whether, if you're betting over a certain threshold, what kind of risk profile you are, whether that money is yours. And they can tell all these things, but in the UK and in Ireland and in the rest of the world, they just haven't bothered having to look at this, because there's no enforceability, there's no responsibility really at the end of the day. Sure, if there's a court case and somebody's literally bet the family house, that'll rumble on for a couple of years, but typically they need to be taken to court in order to recover these assets. But as you can see, so the paradigm there is one where the industry is effectively eating its own customers, to the point where in the UK now, they've actually stopped using stopped using credit cards altogether and are only using debit cards. So it's a real problem for the industry, quite apart from being a problem for families. So I do think that there is an opportunity to, because of the governance structure is different, because it's effectively community owned, to make interventions there without being invasive on people's privacy. And that's the exciting thing. That's a whole new thing.
2 quick points I want to make. So yeah, we want to also maybe partner. We're curating a list right now to maybe work with some top universities. We think that's a great resource to tap into. And then also just education, just making people better bettors, right? Like just educate them on a lot of things. Like I know a lot of people that like do parlays and stuff, and I just tell them constantly, like, what are you doing? Like single wager bets. If you're gonna bet single wager and like they want to, it's the quick rush of, oh, I can take $5 and potentially win $100. And I just break it down to them like, yeah, but you need to bet that constantly. So you're probably even putting 50 to almost $100 in for a chance to win $100. It makes no sense. So I just wanted to put that at the forefront as well. It's about educating the people and, just being a community, caring about everyone. Your community is only as strong as like the weakest link, right? So, it's about uplifting everyone and just educating people.
Epoch.
Hero, have you parlayed?
Have I ever parlayed a bet? Yes.
Was it basketball?
No, it was football.
And all
So I learned about
Pittsburgh parlay, the Penguins.
Penguin.
It was actually not on the Steelers. It was on the Patriots when Tom Brady was there.
That was a moneymaker for years. You take him to win the AFC, and then you parlay it with one or two other bets, and it was, pretty good.
You just said parlays made no sense, and now you're like, well, that parlay was pretty good. So like,
They make no
are you
sense.
kidding me? I was like 90
And
cents.
and the difficulty now is in-game parlay is really where it's at. You're going to be betting on, your team may have won, and then you suddenly make a bet if you're an addictive type of personality and you're required by the machine. You'll make a bet on how many flags or fouls are going to be made, and it's just invidious. So it is. But anyway, apart from that, methodology, entertainment methodology, it's fine. Once it's not a problem, and that's the bit with Singularity that we're kind of excited about. We're talking to them about, because it is a wider problem as well. The human behavior piece.
But real quick, I did say parlays are a bad idea, and they are. But what my whole point is that he won so many times that it made you money more times than it didn't, and that's what I was advocating against parlays. And I just want to make that clear.
Yeah, because it's usually not like that. You usually lose.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what I'm trying to say. Just simple education. If you don't know what you're doing, do not parlay. But if you are educated on gambling, the odd parlay is not that bad. But you got to know what you're doing.
Epoch, you said you might have some other question?
Yeah, so what do you guys think of those like carbon scrubbers that like suck carbon out of the air? What do you think about that? I'm serious.
I mean, I
Trees.
haven't looked at the technology recently, but I think if that's an industry too where
is it effective?
Where the transparency is an issue, because you can pay someone and they say they plant a tree, but where's the proof of tree?
Exactly. So the reason I asked the question is because, number one, carbon neutrality is an interesting topic, and, people tout all of these improvements, and it's like, oh, well, we are sucking carbon out of the air. And it's like, well, what's really happening is a massive oil and gas company is not wanting to change their operation, but they want to look good. So they buy a giant fucking carbon sucker and they attach it to the top of their plume. And then they're like, oh yeah, we're killing it. When there's like no real scientific evidence that they've like moved the needle, and nor does it like from a metric ton perspective really matter at all. Nor are they even running those things on green energy to begin with. So they're probably spending oil and gas to run the fucking thing that pulls the carbon out. So anyway, the point is, there's a bit of irony to, let's talk gambling, but don't worry, we'll educate you on addiction.
Well, when the shareholders are not, when the shareholder is the user, that's there's a difference there, and that's when
there's
all the transactions.
Advantage. You're getting too specific with me. You're like trying to drill me in here. Like there's transactions. And that's fine. But at the end of the day, the house is going to win more of the time, right? Like if people are betting, people are losing. So
well, and that
there
absolutely.
will be a
Well,
growing group of unhealthy people. Is that not right?
the house. Well, there's a house advantage, but it depends on the application of the margin of that advantage. So
Is it
if
like
you're
roulette
running it,
advantage or like blackjack?
but exactly. So it's well, in sports betting, it depends on the game that we're going to plug in. But in principle, the growth of these companies is fueled by cash extraction for shareholders, and I don't see that casual betting needs to be that. And and I suppose that's what we're trying to develop is a new paradigm for casual betting.
Yep, and trying to lower that mental threshold so it's a little bit more acceptable. Makes sense. I don't know. I think it's an interesting topic because, ethics, in the description, it's like, hey, we're ethical. But that's also what I would do if I was trying to get something through, right? Like if I'm a scammer, I would say, hey, I'm not a scammer, because that's the easiest way to separate yourself from that psychological trick, right? Am I not wrong?
No, you're right. It's definitely, yeah. It's like greenwashing, like you were talking about with the carbon removal, and that's what we see in the industry currently is with the ads they do and the the little banner at the bottom that says don't be a problem gambler, call this phone number or whatever, and we want to go beyond that. We want to have a real ethical approach to this that's not just us saying it, but it's driven by the community.
I'm a casual gambler. I'm not addicted to gambling, but I enjoy it. So I think if it's done properly, I think there can be that medium.
I'd agree. I think the holy grail for most operators is to get guys who are casual and convert them to casino. You see, in fact, DraftKings are very good at that, and those are usually the operators to watch for the problem. And usually it starts with parlays. It starts with modeling that behavior in game, and then you'll see a push to try our casino with a free spin or whatever, and it's just a numbers game. Then it's just a big funnel.
Well, just if somebody just wants to do a quick overview of where they can go and read your proposal and everything about what you're trying to build, and then we'll let you off the seat.
I got to go to my daughter's party here in the local activity center. So
yeah,
the third tweet in, I believe, at the top. You can go and check us out, or you can click on the All In profile there. Our website is betallin.io. Obviously, on idea scale, you can type in all in and our proposal will pop up. We do appreciate the vote. Any questions, concerns, anything, you can always hit our personal accounts on the all in account, anywhere. Just hit us up. We're here for the community. We want all impact or input, everything like that, questions, concerns, and we'll be happy to answer them or work with you.
I would say, just on Epoch's point about the greenwashing, developing a governance model for this is new ground, and it's one of the things that we need to do.
Yeah, and I think that would help the industry all over, right? If that was, like I said, done properly. So, I want to just say thanks for taking the time out of your day. I hope your daughter's party is great. Ryan, when you want to bet on Stiller games, let me know.
Yeah, we might have to do a charity bet, something, and Steelers Ravens. Maybe the money goes to like a local fire department. Something pretty cool like that would be awesome.
But we definitely need to get in on it. And poor Epoch, he hates betting me because every time he bets, he has to pay Linda some money for her charity.
Meme coin poker challenge. I hear it coming.
Oh man.
Yeah, we would just say thanks for having us, hosting us, and shout out to the Ada Cafe. Definitely go check out their proposal, and I couldn't come up here and not say shout out to ADAO. They're doing some awesome things as well, so go check out their proposals.
For sure. And Sean, again, thanks for all your work on CIPs, man.
Sure.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. Thanks for having us here. And yeah, definitely support these guys. But if you're already fully delegated to them and need somewhere else to put some ADA, Squid Pool is happy to have you.
Squid Pool. What's up with that name? Can I ask? Why Squid Pool?
Well, I live by the ocean, and my daughter said it would be cool to name it after squids. So,
well, that's a winner in my book. Go delegate the Squid Pool right now. In fact, I might have some ADA in the exchange I need to move off. So, Lido, it's your turn. It's your time. It's your time to shine, my friend. Lido, are you doing fiat mining?
Guys, I have to say.
Yeah. Thanks for coming, man. Enjoy. Have a good day. So I guess I'll do the Lido minute since Lido isn't here. Yeah. Lido. Man, I'll tell you, I feel rugged. I feel rugged as a host.
He's probably watching a Bitcoin conference video or something.
No, he's probably farming fiat. Like he does this like during his job. Don't tell anybody. So there's that. What's up, Rand? What's going on with Rare Bloom? Any good news drops for Rare Bloom? Anything exciting happening? He's not there. Blockjaw, save me. You're there. I knew it.
I'm here. I'm listening to you. I got my son in the car. He's listening to me, and are listening to you guys. And yeah, man. So I think ultimately, I do run on a little bit with that, but the whole idea of gambling addiction is horrible, and I feel like when that happens, I start talking about it. I tend to not be so concise because my emotions run into it, I guess, a little bit, But yeah, it's a fine line, right? You're trying to run a business, and it's not your responsibility to watch everybody and what they do, but it is imperative that they educate, or at least try to. And then some people get crazy. You just need to boot them, But that's tough. I don't know how you do that.
Yeah, it's a fine line to walk, right? As a company, you have ethical, definitely an ethical line to walk. But I think education is key, right? A lot of places don't educate. I know here in Pennsylvania, anytime I ever see a commercial for gambling, the only thing it says is, if you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLE or something like that. I mean, what kind of education is that?
Yeah, I'm actually a subcontractor for a casino out here, an Indian casino, and it's the same thing, and it's a little smaller ran, it's not like, a Harrah's ran outfit, it's basically ran by the tribe itself, and then they have a consulting firm that works with them. So they are a little bit more in touch, and you can tell there's differences in how they work with that versus the bigger ones that are, ran by Caesars and shit, that are out here. So, just all depends on how close you are to your customer, I think.
Yeah, I think that plays a lot into it. What up, TCT? Did you make it to Miami yet?
No, I was coming to do the Lido Minute, but you said you were going to do it. I would love to hear it.
Yeah, no, I bitched out. So if you can do the Lido Minute, that would be great.
I'll try, if I'm not rugged. Well, it is that time this is your Lido Minute. Lido Nation is your go-to platform for non-hyped Cardano information and blockchain information in easy to understand audio and video format. in 3 languages: English, Spanish, and Swahili.
And you didn't
Please,
fix the fly rod.
please support Lido Nation and Cardano Over Coffee by staking to Lido Stake Pool. Thank you.
Good job, Lido impersonator.
That was a weak one. The fly rod was bothering me.
How did you not fix that fly rod yet? How's that not drove you crazy?
I can't
Driving
reach it.
down the road.
It's a big truck. I can't reach back there.
Pull over. Don't you got to pee or something? I mean,
Nonstop.
so I used MinSwap yesterday and farmed some of my tokens, and I got my rewards in like, it was less than a minute. Like, what's that about? How'd that happen?
Progress.
Someone explain that to me. What happened there? I thought we could only do 1 transaction per block. I thought that's how it worked around here. What are you guys doing to me? I heard there might be another block size increase, if anybody cares. Possibly.
It is coming as well. It's going to be awesome.
Which makes us faster. And then June is the big event, right? Vassal hard fork.
Yeah, that's going to be cool. I think a lot of things are going to change at that point for a lot of people. End user, of course, but projects as well. We're going to see a proliferation of projects coming out after that.
I've been reading in this pipelining a little bit, and I need to do a lot more research. But I'm pretty impressed. It's funny what research does for you.
Something I should be doing more of. I'm very freeloaders centric right now. It's very difficult to keep up with everything I'm doing right now and still running a business, which, by the way, the world is starting to come back to life and it's getting busier.
Well, that's a good sign. Rand, are you back? You there? Rand. Lido? You have to say catalyst here. You have to say catalyst. What was that, buddy? Couldn't hear you.
You have to say catalyst. That's my wake-up word.
Oh, catalyst.
What's up?
Listen, we had a very horrible fly rod sounding Lido minute. Could you do the real Lido minute for me? Like it was bad today. I love TCT, but it was just bad today.
I have 1 minute to get into my fiat meeting, so this has to be a real Lido minute. This is your Lido minute on Cardano Over Coffee. This week in Catalyst, all of the proposals have been sealed reviewed, have been VCA'd. There's some quality checks that's happening over the next few days. And then the proposal will go to the voting app, and you should be able to vote in a few days. I think next Wednesday or Thursday. Not 100% sure on the date there. So make sure you have your QR code, make sure you have your PIN, and get ready to vote. There's an Android app, there's an iPhone app. You have to download the app to vote for your proposals. Yeah, I pinned a tweet earlier to the top about some changes to Catalyst funding and how that's decided and how proposals think about their funding in Fund 9. Please check out that tweet and then watch the town hall video from this Wednesday, and then make your own opinion about how you feel about that change. And if you have any problems or concerns or question about it, write to your Catalyst Circle member. I will pin that tweet again. That is super, super important if you're thinking about being a proposer in Catalyst in Fund 9. My name is Darlington, your favorite co-dreamer at Lido Nation. LidoNation.com provides hype-free education in plain English, Swahili, and Spanish in written and audio formats. our Catalyst Research Proposal 2 is getting a big upgrade over the next few days. It will be changing every day. My goal there is to be able to have proposal pages and teams pages. So you could go to that too and look at the DC Spark pages and be able to see all the proposals DC Spark have had in Catalyst and be able to see all the funding they've been awarded and how much been paid out, how many proposals been completed and stuff like that. So check out that too. I want it to be up by voting so it can help people in their research for what proposals to vote for in Fund 8. And that's a Lido Minute.
Now go farm your fiat, and that was the longest Lido minute ever after you said you had to make it quick. I just want you to know that. But it was definitely better than TCT's. So
yeah, and wow, that's huge. To be able to see all the proposal teams and proposals that did or didn't get funded, because that's like one of the big questions, right? Is like, what are we getting, right? We see the funding going out. We want to see the projects that have been completed. So that's pretty awesome.
yeah, I'm sure he had to go talk at his job, but I wish there was more follow-up, right? And maybe it's gotten better since the last time I really looked into follow-up on these projects that are funded.
That's what I was thinking too, dude. I mean, right after TCT said that, I'm like, what about all the stuff after they get done, and where are they at with it, and what's the follow-up on the ones that did get funded and their progress? And there should be something, right?
One thing that I've heard in the coordinator meeting for the talking with the funded proposals from prior funds was that IO is working on a dashboard that would show you kind of all the everyone who's been funded, and then be able to access information in like their monthly reports or to get an idea of their progress, and then the videos that they're supposed to do when they complete their project, stuff like that. So I think they're definitely aware of that and working on it. I don't know what the time frame is for them releasing that, but I think that's really important to get that kind of insight into these projects and know what they've been able to accomplish.
Yeah, including a bit of an accounting too, right? As far as
eat them through it.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say something smartass. I think Lido Nation's gonna beat them to it.
Probably. What were you gonna say, Blockjaw?
I think the other part of that is that the projects that were funded, that started to fall off. Where is that? Is there any follow up on that? How much ADA has been spent? Or resources have been spent in that, and as far as loss, things of that nature.
I think there has to be a data, almost like a fucking oracle that pulls the information from these projects that are funded, put into a dashboard, kind of like what Sean was saying, where if DC Spark puts up another proposal, I can go and look and say, okay, they blah, 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 all this, and they've been funded all this, and they've done all this. Okay, they have my vote. I just use them as an example, but, there got to be somewhere where I can research the teams and previous proposals to see if they completed the tasks on the previous proposals that they were funded on. I think that's very, very important.
Big time. You'd imagine like somebody just keeps running up proposals. They figured out a way to get everybody to vote for them, and they never follow through on the back end of it. And then, our Catalyst team is not really keeping up with it, and we're funding things that they haven't even finished on the last ones they got funded for. That would piss me off.
Yeah, one thing that changed with Fund 7, I think, was that the funding is now paid on a monthly basis over the lifetime of the project, and to get each month's payment, you have to provide information about that you're making progress.
Yeah, that did just change, but I still wouldn't. I great change, but we need more. I think, you know what I mean.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think if you're a scammer, you can fake a monthly report that says you're making progress until you get to the end and there's nothing there.
Well, as Kat would say, we're almost not late. or we're very, very, very not late.
Very not late to this situation, right? Hell, I remember when Catalyst wasn't even giving out money, like the fake Catalyst vote, right? It's just, I've been participating in Catalyst for a while. I just don't go to like the weekly meetings, but I always make sure that I vote, and I always make sure that I take time to read over proposals before I vote. I think it's a responsibility as someone who holds ADA to do that. I'm hoping at some point, and I know this is kind of a controversial thing, but I hope at some point we develop something that's fair where people who don't want to participate and don't want to vote can delegate their funds. And I know there's been talk about that. So I'm hoping to see something of that
I don't know
in the
what you
future.
just said, but I think I love it. That was the shortest fiat meeting ever.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the ability to delegate to someone who you trust and has really the time to research these things, because it takes a lot of time and effort to understand all these proposals and figure out which ones are really worth voting for.
Yeah, and I think a prime example of that, like just to speak of the point of why I think this, right? I've gotten a lot of family members into Cardano, right? And they understand what it is, but they don't want to vote in Catalyst. My parents have no desire to do that, right? They're looking at it more as an investment. So why should they not be able to take their funds and delegate to me because they trust me, I'm their son, to vote for them, right? Just kind of an example.
I'm trying to pin an article right now too. This whole delegation thing, I really hope it happens sooner rather than later. Um, and that is like super easy for people to do. Because another group of people too are those who don't meet the voting threshold, right? If you don't have the 500 ADA, you could delegate your 50 ADA or your 200 ADA. But the article I just pinned to the top that talks about dApps and stuff, there's a couple of sentences in there that's super important to vote in, and that is every smart contract that exists that holds ADA in it has all the same powers, on-chain powers, as a person, right? I guess we have the American model where companies are people. But what that means is a smart contract can vote, a smart contract can stake, right? And so I don't know, like if how teams are thinking about that, if they're going to plan to use those funds to participate in Catalyst or like to be able to stake, and what's going to happen to those staking rewards if they pay it back to the people in their smart contracts. That is definitely something you should be asking these smart contracts about as you're thinking about putting your ADA in them. But the more we see these contracts kind of accumulate ADA and like do decide to participate in voting, we're gonna need a way to kind of balance up those wills, right? And I think being able to delegate a vote to other people who can also participate in Catalyst is sort of important to offset smart contract dominance when it comes to governance and things like that.
Yeah, and I
Not
wasn't even thinking about the less than 500. Go ahead, Sheridan. Sorry.
No, it's just about this exact topic. I think 3 or 5 town halls ago, Wednesdays, there was an announcement about the DREFs, people who the IOHK and Catalyst community would vet and could receive the voting power delegation, like you guys are discussing, so that people who don't have time to vote can still have their voting power heard. And I was particularly really impressed with how they were presenting it. They are presenting it as a way for you to fractionalize your voting power so that you can give different domain experts a different percentage and even keep some for your own voting if you'd like.
I like that. Because truthfully, the reason I like that is I'm not Epoch, I'm not Sean, I'm not a developer. So when it comes to real technical shit, like in the first couple votes, there was all these technical things that people wanted to build. I had no idea what in the flying F they were talking about in these proposals, and I'm reading through them, and I'm like, I don't know if this is a good proposal or not. But boy, would I'd love to be able to take some of my voting power or whatever and give it to different domain experts.
That is absolutely on its way. That's what Voltaire is going to be all about. That's the next era of Cardano. We're currently in Basho, scaling up.
Yeah,
So
I
I'm
know.
very excited.
I know. But I think it's too far away. I think we need more governance help.
Have you heard of ADAO?
No. Tell me about them.
ADAO is a wonderful governance platform that has just released its multisig wallet. I believe it's called Roundtable or Roundhouse. I'm not too familiar, but
I
check
believe
out
Roundtable.
ADAO.com and you can find it.
It's the Knights that say knee. That's what it's called, from what I understand. That's what
The Knights. Yeah, you should have named it the Black Knight.
That would have been amazing. None shall pass.
It's merely a flesh wound, but you ain't got no legs. Come here, I'll bite your fucking kneecaps off.
That's right.
Oh man,
Yeah,
Monty.
I would echo Hero on the whole. We need that delegated voting like sooner rather than later.
Yeah, because I want to give all my voting power to Lido because I trust him almost implicitly. After we have our
we need to
spa
talk
day,
about.
then I'll trust him.
We need to talk about your decision-making skills here, Block Jock.
I'm very impulsive. Sorry. It's my OCD. It still comes out, even though it doesn't wreck me like it used to. It can still cause some issue. Yes.
TCT, what up?
Dude, guess what was just open source today and allows you to delegate your vote? Agora.
What?
Yep.
Agora's out?
Yep. Agora's open source. You can delegate your votes. And that's not all, but there are other mechanisms, right? So we already have natively a way to delegate our data. So we can do this on Cardano. It's really about getting together, implementing it. Because, yeah, not even just like people, right? What if there was like a working group, right, in ADAO or like a conclave, right, or Epoch organization, Ada Cafe? Like you can delegate your vote now to actual domain experts, right? Who, like you said, are like actually in it, researching, reading, understanding. So yeah, the power to delegate your vote is just amazing, right? It will make it so much more efficient and it'll be great for all of us. I agree. And the power to delegate it in the way that we are able to on Cardano, where it's not locked up, where it's non-custodial, we still have control over it and we can take it back anytime we want.
Non-custodial, that's so critical.
I wish you weren't driving, dude. I got like so many questions now.
I am about to ape so hard into this whole Agora business. I've sort of been slowly watching it because I've got actually. Let me pull up my speaking of Scrum Epoch. Let me pull up my little Scrum dashboard thinking my jig
Hey,
here.
don't say Epoch's name. He's down adjusting the supercomputer to get ready for
Oh man. So right now, does it show the number? Maybe I don't know how Scrum works. Maybe just this tool. You guys keep talking. I'll come back to this.
TCT. Where can I go to find out more about Agora?
So one of the best places is the proposal on Idea Scale, but I thought I just shared it. And I know Riley retweeted it. So Liquid Labs tweeted this morning, and unless I was dreaming, that they did just open source it, so it'll all be in the GitHub, I assume.
Outstanding. Maybe you were just dreaming. Did you have your coffee before or after you saw this?
No. Literally, I rolled over and I was like, and I clicked retweet.
I'm going to look at your profile right now. Somebody can talk. It's okay while I'm scrolling.
So me and TCT were having a talk having to do with, the importance of the roundtable, right? The multisig. And it's like such a huge thing. And I don't think, it's not Mars lander huge, but it is definitely a huge step in the evolution of anybody that's trying to do a DAO governance. Because if anybody's attempted to do that, I'm sure they're shaking their head right now going, yes, thank God that's there. Because trying to get everybody together to do votes and having a trustless permissions society and trying to get things done all at the same time is a huge undertaking and a pain in the ass without it. So I'm stoked for it.
So I found what you had retweeted and pinned it to the top. They did open source. Hey, Aqua Farmers, happy to announce Agora governance model is now open source for Cardano Plutus developers to access on-chain DAO tooling. GitHub.com/Liquid Labs, blah, blah, blah. And something about thanks to M Labs and some DAO. I don't know. They probably did something. And then LiquidX.
Okay, found a number. So the backlog of things or in tickets that need to be done on Lido Nation is 288. So I'm gonna add Agora to that list. It'll be 289.
How do you
how do I what?
How do you rank that list?
Oh, I have a little Kanban board that I really honestly every week the team, and by the team I mean Lady Lido, and I meet and sort of talk about what we want to work on for the next couple of weeks, and then we just pull stuff out of that list. Yeah, but it's not super ranked. I mean, there's ways to rank it by difficulty. There's ways to like group them by like feature set and things like that.
We need some AI deep learning algorithm to figure out what you need to learn first.
Right? It's like, tell me what to do. So I've been slowly planning a Lido Minute podcast. I really want it to be a daily podcast. It just comes out every day. And it's just like 90 seconds long, even though it's called Lido Minute. And I have another list of 380 Lido Minute topics to talk about. And that's also not ranked. So
why don't you randomly go pick one and we'll talk about it right now?
Okay, let's pull this. Let's pull this up.
Make it random too. Don't cheat.
Make it random. Lido Minute. I think this is it. Yes. Maybe. Okay. Somebody keep talking. I have to find this.
Porkster, what's up? Well, he's doing whatever he's doing.
Hey,
What up?
just checking in with the amazing people here. Yeah, Lido Nation. Yeah, just a quick hello from the Porky. Can I ask what's your favorite cut of me?
My favorite what? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Cut.
Of pork? Bacon. That's the only pork that I eat.
Barbecued ribs, maybe?
No, No, I don't. I don't eat pig. Do you know what pigs eat? Like I wouldn't. The only thing I could eat out of a pig is bacon. Other than that, I ain't touching it.
Do you know a lot of the food that is wasted? That people don't eat. Porks are a good way of making this weight come to waste to good use. So it's not always bad with porks. Don't be so fudding. Don't fud porks, please.
Don't fud the pork. Listen, man, there was this restaurant in Carnegie, PA, that was my favorite restaurant to go to, and it was called Bacon, BAKN, and they literally put bacon in everything. So whatever you wanted with bacon, you could get there. So that was my favorite restaurant. So I would never fud the pork. What up, Lido?
So we have a random topic. Also, fun fact: there is also a bacon restaurant here in Minneapolis, and they try to put bacon on everything, and also in every like alcohol drink. It's kind of funny.
Yes, same building.
But the topic that came up was zero knowledge proof, which that it's so funny because I still need to do my full research on that. That's one of the like magical utopian idea of crypto that we haven't been able to super deliver on yet. Um, but I'll let y'all
Funny that
chime in.
that's the random topic, right? Because Epoch and I were just talking about it, maybe been 2 weeks ago, and I said I need to do more research on this. And guess who hasn't done more research on it yet?
Is it Epoch?
No, it's
No,
me.
the piggy didn't do it.
Neither
Anything naughty, you can blame it on the piggy.
neither did the chilled Kong. He should have, however, he did not. So, what are zero proof knowledges, Lido?
Yes. Well, I don't have the knowledge to be a, speaking of zero knowledge. I don't have the knowledge to to describe it in my typical newcomer friendly sense. And like, but also be technical, right? Which is a really hard thing to do. But the non-technical explanation that I understand of it is that basically you can prove that something exists or that you have something without exposing a thing. And the reason why that's important for blockchain is that if you have a proof that your block is valid, but you don't have to actually show the actual block, um, then you don't have to store everything on chain. So then transaction can be faster. The chain can take less resources to run and process. I don't know how that affects Block Explorer and like stuff like that, or like what happens with that block information. Is it stored somewhere? Because that's a choice, right? You can choose to either store that in one place or another place. So do we like start to separate where the full details are stored versus like where the ZK proofs are stored? But the ZK proofs is super great also for like sidechain type stuff. Where you could have all of that blocks on a side chain, but then only the proofs and like roll ups and things like that are sent back to the main chain. But yeah, for consumer applications, right? I mean, you could do things like log into a site and like prove you have an NFT without actually giving them your NFT or showing them your NFT. So you get a little bit of security there and privacy there. You don't have to like give them access to your actual wallet to be able to log into a website using an NFT. So that's pretty cool for users.
Yeah, except for the blockchain's public anyhow, and if they really wanted to find it, they could.
Not with zero knowledge proofs, actually, Hero. So just like we can use cryptography um, in other ways, right, to secure things like our private keys, that is how zero knowledge proofs work, sort of, right? And instead of showing that private key, we can show something like our public key, which is or the key hash. So we, as long as that layer of truth is there, right, where this proof is made, then it doesn't matter, right, where we need to prove something. We can use that proof for it.
See, and this is why I hired you, because you're definitely a lot smarter than me, and I like to surround myself with people that are definitely smarter than myself.
Well, I just, I do a lot of driving audiobooks.
Do you recommend anything on? Do you know of an audiobook on zero proof that I could listen to, or do you recommend any other audiobooks to listen to?
No, this I don't have an audiobook for, mostly reading, but I will send you some stuff. I don't know off the top of my head.
Yeah. Go enjoy in Miami.
Yeah, I'm gonna jump off, but yeah, you know who's one of the leading experts in this is now I can't think of it. Snark, right? ZK Snark. What is it called? Man.
Yeah. I mean, that's at least that's the buzzword I've been hearing. ZK Snarks.
No, yeah, but there's a company. They're on Ethereum. It's an Ethereum L2. There's Optimism, and then there is Optimism was doing optimistic rollups, and then Sync, ZK Sync, is the company leading the charge for zero knowledge rollups.
Learn something new every day. Interesting. Cream.
Hi. So I'm learning a lot here. Just wanted to check in and make sure that I didn't need to put the model on that guy or anything. TCT, thank you for your alpha. Lido and Hero Pool. Lots of love.
Yeah, and we're gonna wrap it up here. It's Friday, so we won't be back till Monday. TCT's in Miami. What's Lido got going on?
Oh, this weekend really is that Catalyst page, man. I really want to sink a lot of time into it this weekend and get those 10,000-foot views of what people's been funded for and where they are now going. I think that would be useful to the community.
It'll be useful to me.
To me, right? Like, so one good example is WADA. They're doing so much. It's just there's not one place you can go to see all of it, right? So like I want to know what exactly are they doing, right? So then maybe I'll find an intern to go through and like find that contact information and add it. So if people want to contact them, they can do so.
So Lido will be at his computer all weekend if you need him. TCT will be in Miami living the dream. Epoch probably is in a work meeting all weekend, so don't mess with him. And I'm taking the weekend off. So
and Blockshock is currently trying to extract bolts out of a mount for an engine and just broke the bit off in stud that broke out. Oh.
How'd you break? Wow, dude.
I just tweaked it just a little bit. I took the guide out because I needed to drill all the way through the bolt itself that's stuck in there. And when I took the guide out, of course, I was, doing it on my own.
You weren't.
Yep.
Weren't straight.
Yeah.
Got to be straight when you do that, there, Blockshock.
Yeah.
So
you do.
here is a tangential related handy person story. Recently, both my windshield wiper decided to break. So I had to run to the the other one, the auto place, and get some windshield wiper. This was the first time I bought my own windshield wiper. I didn't even realize you had to get specific ones. I was like, so can I just buy any of these windshield wiper? And the lady laughed at me. But then we got past that one, and I came home and like install it. And I go to install the thing, and it takes me like 10 minutes to figure it out because I've never done that before. And then once I like figure out the mechanism, it's like a freaking clip. It just clicks
Yeah.
off.
Listen, don't feel bad. Anytime anybody's ever changed their first windshield wiper, it takes them 10 minutes. But after that, you know how to do it.
Yeah.
But then here's the thing. I'm like, people's been charging me $20, $50, $30 to do something that takes 1 minute.
Lato, I'll gladly work on your car anytime you would like, sir. You need a
Oh
brakes,
man.
oil change. What do you need done? You need a new. You need what? What do you need? I got you. I'm making some money. I'm gonna start farming fiat through Lido to buy Ada.
Yeah, I kicked myself in the shin and I was just so surprised.
Hero, you need to wire up his horn so every time he honks it says Project Catalyst.
No, it'll say LidoNation.com. So I want to thank our guests, Ryan, Sean, who took off all in bets. Take a minute, go look at their catalyst proposal. Take a look at shit. There's a lot of people in here that have catalyst proposals. Take some time, go look at catalyst proposals. Ada Cafe, ADAO. I almost said the name wrong again. I had to think about it for a second. Lido probably has some. I don't know.
It's pinned to my profile.
It's been to his profile. Epoch does not. Epoch does not have a catalyst proposal. However, he is part of the Ada Cafe proposal. So go check out all the proposals on Catalyst. Go vote. It's important. Use your Ada. Go build something. Take the weekend. Spend some time with family and loved ones.
Are you trying to wrap up the whole Twitter space before I even find the unmute button? Huh? It's been like an hour. It's like 6 epochs.
Yeah, well, I figured you wanted. I wanted to see if you wanted to bet on some magic lines.
Ooh, did you have one for me? I'll bet 100 in the opposite direction.
I'm just gonna guess now.
There you go. Okay, fine. If we're guessing, then I'll take 50 in the opposite direction.
All right. You have anything you want to finish up with before we get out of here?
I mean, it is Friday, which I don't know how much of a surprise that was for everyone else, but my mind is blown. So everyone have a great day and have a great weekend, and much love for everyone who's supporting decentralization. Peace.
Everybody have a great day. Have a great weekend.
Love you, hero. Bye.
Bye.